Welcome here on Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturdivant. Carlene Bragg is here. We want to get to our top story, a story that we broke here on Live Impact News yesterday afternoon, and that is the death of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. A 31-year-old was shot and killed during an event he was hosting at Utah Valley University. Now, the manhunt continues for the shooter. We just got a bit of new information before we got on the stream. So the FBI released a photo of a person of interest. It is seeking a connection to this fatal shooting again at Utah Valley University. And this Charlie Kirk's death is brought on a discussion and conversation from both sides of the aisle. I want to bring in Dr. Michael Bitzer, political science professor at Catawba College. Dr. Bitzer, as always, friend to the program, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Let's get into it. I just want to get your reaction to his death. It happened yesterday afternoon. I just want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I was actually wrapping up class yesterday afternoon when one of my students looked at his phone and announced that Charlie Kirk had been shot. We didn't know much at that particular point in time. But in thinking about and studying and actually teaching a course this semester on polarization in American politics, I think this is a very dangerous inflection point that we are at. We have seen political assassinations, typically tending to be of elected officials in our past history. We've seen political violence, but this kind of targeting of political activists now, a very well-known conservative political activist, is something that really stretches the mind to consider where we are as a nation and how we are going to get ourselves out of this very deep, very divisive, polarized environment that unfortunately can bring such events to bear to our collective nation. And I'm not real sure where we head from here. My hope is that we will find our better angels, but this is going to be a real test of the American civic will.
Yeah, Dr. Bizar, I was just about to say and follow up with a question. You mentioned political violence. You talk about the assassination attempts against President Trump. Also, earlier this year, Melissa Horton, representative out of Minnesota, Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania, and Charlie Kirk. Now, I believe I'm missing a couple of other violent acts. But what does this say about where we are within our political landscape?
I think it raises real concerns about the willingness of individuals to take violent terroristic attacks such as these that ultimately end in murder of an individual and to try and normalize it in some way. I think, we need to be shocked into what this tells us about American political and civic life. And that, in any other event, we would hope that the vast majority, if not all Americans, would repudiate and call this to account, that this kind of behavior simply is not based on American values in any way, shape, or form. But this continues to be part of our political landscape. So I'm afraid unless we have a real reckoning, and it is going to be us, we the people, that need to have this kind of political reckoning, we can expect more of these kinds of events, unfortunately. And where that leads us, I am very gravely concerned about.
And I do want to add, and I said I missed a couple, but Nancy Pelosi, also, her husband was attacked.
Her husband as well, yeah.
I do want to ask as well, President Trump blaming The left, we heard from Republican Representative Nancy Mace, also blaming Democrats. When you hear this type of rhetoric, how do we move forward from something like this and lower the temperature when you see this seemingly divisive politics at play?
Yeah, I think it's first and foremost incumbent upon our leaders to wait, to have a sense of moderation, to find out the facts behind such an event. The FBI is doing all that it can to bring this individual to justice. We will then have, more information, hopefully at that point in time, but to basically start blaming the other side of the political aisle is not responsible leadership of any way, shape, or form. And I think, if we want to indeed tap down the rhetoric, it is those individuals that spur the rhetoric, the heated rhetoric, that will need to be held accountable for their rhetoric by us, the people. But I'm afraid that we are in such a deeply polarized environment. What we know as political scientists is that negative partisanship is the dominant driver in our politics. And that means it's not so much I support my party, it's that I hate the other side. And when we use rhetoric to classify them as enemies, as almost unhuman, that raises the potential for these types of violence in our politics.
Dr. Bitzer, before I get you out of here, and I know it's early, I know the search is still on for the suspect, but when you talk about a guy like Charlie Kirk, he had a huge impact on President Trump being reelected and also elected. You first heard of him, well, at least I first heard of him back in 2016. What impact does this have looking ahead at 2026?
I'd be cautious to really try and make any kind of electoral politics prediction at this point. I think it's incumbent that we mourn the loss of a human being, that we hold up their family in our thoughts, and that we bring the suspect to justice. Certainly, this will have an impact. I don't know what that impact is going to be politically in 2026. We are a year out from the general campaign leading into November of 2026. We'll have a very competitive U.S. Senate race here in North Carolina. We'll potentially have a competitive U.S. House race in the northeastern part of the state. But as I've always kind of contended, 1 week to the next in American politics brings things that nobody knows about. And so we'll just have to kind of wait and see how this plays out and ultimately how the American people play this out. It is incumbent upon us to be able to reconcile these differences in ways that don't involve bullets, but rather the battle at the ballot box.
Well said, Dr. Bitzer. Hard to think about what happens politically when you have something tragic like this unfold, no matter what you believe in politically. Dr. Bitzer, thank you so much for your time and for the context and perspective, as always. We'll see you here shortly, I'm sure, here on the program.
Good to be with you.